Welcome everybody to EFL Championship. Round 4, hot takes. This a very, very significant kind of signpost in the Championship window. We have reached the first international break with 4 games ticked off. We go tomorrow to transfer deadline day, and then a sense that the real slog begins from here on out, from round 5. No more business going to be done, and managers and squads have got to, certain ones have got to get their acts together. Certain ones have started very well indeed, and we will start with those sides up at the top of the table, and nobody has started better than Middlesbrough, who are out on their own at the top. As you'd imagine, a team with 12 points from 4 games, 4 wins from 4. Absolutely perfect. It was Boro 1, Sheffield United 0 in the early yesterday. Tommy Conway with the only goal. And they're just flying, aren't they, Boro? As I say, 4 for 4, perfect. 3 clean sheets in that. I still think there might be some action between now and 7 p.m. tomorrow night. First game without Finn Azaz, but as we mention every week, Hayden Hackney is still at Boro and looking like a key player, fingers crossed for the Boro fans, for the season ahead. But in the now, they are just winning games, Boro, and getting the job done. This one looked pretty sort of comfortable. We talk about Sheffield United and their inability to get a shot on target. I know, bit of a sticky miss in stoppage time by McCallum, but this is just where Boro are at. And it's not been soft fixture-wise. They've beaten Swansea, who are 7th, Millwall, who are 12th, Norwich, who are 11th. Obviously, Sheffield United are bottom, but you can't sit there and say they haven't beaten anybody, they've had easy fixtures and all that. They're top and they deserve to be top, Boro, don't they? And he's managing this very, very well, Rob Edwards. Couldn't be managing it any better at the moment. It will get more tricky for Boro, but I think it's just a moment of, sit and put your feet up for 2 weeks, enjoy it. Hopefully nothing particularly heinous happens in terms of outgoings or what have you in the transfer window. But yeah, everyone's saying to me, it looks a bit different this year, Ben. Maybe a chance for somebody here with certain parachute teams not really getting their act together and looking like the door might be open. Here you go. Here's Middlesbrough, 12 points on the board already. Always a theory of mine as well. If you go heavy on points early in the season, it stands to reason that, that points per game valuation you need to put on the board for the rest of the season can come a bit lower. You can, afford a couple of slips and a couple of slides and a couple of mistakes here, and you're still going to be up there. And if you're riding it out, up towards Christmas and you're up and around there, then, playoffs minimum starts to seem obvious. So long way out from that. But what a start from Middlesbrough. Conway gets them the 3 points, and Sheffield United are terrible. And the Blades fans won't need me to tell them that, and they won't be disagreeing with me, and they won't be pleased to hear it. But yeah, just a pathetic start from Sheffield United. 0 points on the board. And I think, was it the Swansea game we did for Sheffield United, where again we looked at the numbers? I think it was, wasn't it? And they didn't have a single shot on target. So they've lost the last 3 games 1-0. I mean, in my 1 to 24s, I'm like, Sellers, he knows what he's doing. He knows the league. He knows English football. Year 2 parachute team. They'll tag along. They'll be up there. It's been a hopelessly bad start, hasn't it? And I get the frustration. I get the, from the Blades fans. I get the pressure that's going to be on Sayers, and just needs some points really, really quickly there. I suppose the, not that it's great to go into international break on 4 defeats, but hey, at least it's time now. Calm down, get off the pitch where things aren't going terribly, terribly well. Only team on 0 points as well. Nobody had Sheffield United below Sheffield Wednesday. They're the bottom the two Sheffield clubs at round 4. Look, Godfrey's in. Tanganga, moreover, could be a big player there. Best case scenario for Sheffield United is the 2 weeks goes well, bed in new players, noise quietens down whilst the games aren't happening. They come back and they, slam 2 points per game on for the next 10 games or whatever, and off you go, you're off and running. But worst case scenario here is if this continues much longer and you head towards international break 2 and a team with a squad of the quality of Sheffield United are down there, then this manager is in trouble early on. Don't like to see anybody losing their job, but, you can't be down there on 0 points with Sheffield United. So there you go. Get in the comments, Middlesbrough. Happy Middlesbrough fans, unhappy Sheffield United fans. Stoke 0, West Brom 1. Never, ever, 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 ever trust Stoke. We've been getting so excited, and I've been joking, never trust Stoke. It's a trap. And of course, I predicted them to go 4 for 4. I think there might be some public apologies incoming here for West Brom, who obviously turned up at Bet365 and got the win. And we've been raving about Stoke. We've been raving about Vic Johansson. So what does he do? He drops a corner on Nat Phillips's foot and he sticks it in the back of the net. I think it's a fairly early goal, wasn't it? Yeah, 14th minute. And then that swings that game state, doesn't it? And all of a sudden, Stoke have got some questions to answer here, and they couldn't answer them. And Ryan Mason was a very frustrated man, red carded last week in the 1-1 draw against Pompey, wasn't he? He's going to be delighted with this one. And we've seen this kind of story with West Brom where, the players were coming in at the start of the window, and then all of a sudden at the back end of the window, we've seen how they're going to pay for it and manage the PSR and balance the books. And, Tom Fellows, real star, has gone out. Hegem, they got good money for. Furlong, they got good money for, but he's been a bit of a stalwart there. But there's new look defence there, isn't it? I think Campbell was playing right back, wasn't he? Phillips, Mepham has come in now. So it's a real new look team. It's a shame about Fellows, when a club brings a player through. But I'm the one that's always saying you've got to build stars. And yeah, West Brom have had parachute payments and don't have them anymore. And, that's the way you compete. And the way you compete is winning games in big head-to-heads at the top of the table. And it's a great start for Ryan Mason, isn't it? 10 points from the first 3 games. And I'm sure... let's predict it. I'll get a West Brom fan in the comments saying, Ben, it should have been 12. We should have had a penalty at the game, at the end of the game against Pompey. But, swings and roundabouts. I'm sure there's bits and bobs in every game you can pick out that could have gone this way, could have gone that way, could have gone the other way. Should have, would have, could have. 10 points. West Brom, great start. Tremendous up there in the top 2. Stoke, first slip. But look, what's important here is have they had the cultural reset? Mark Robbins was saying, they're starting to get it, and we've seen crappy dressing rooms at Stoke year after year, and the players, not really delivering for the fans. It's not been good enough, has it? If they've got that right, then hopefully, for you long-suffering Potters fans, we will see a bounce back. And, God, if you get 9 points in the next 4 games and you're at 18 after round 8, you can fairly safely assume you're going to be up there in the top 2 or at least the top 3 if someone's gone hell for leather up ahead. But yeah, just got to settle this, keep on moving. Mabama actually hit the post, didn't he, at 1-0. It could have gone, I say at 1-0, it was only goal in the game. You know what I'm saying? While they were chasing. So it could have gone 1-1. But look, I'm sure you're happy Stoke fans, but what we need to see is a Stoke club dressing room not crumble now. Keep going. You've got Birmingham next, which is a hard game. Need to see them win that game and now push back on. They're going to be staying up there in the promotion picture. And here's the narrative that the doors open. I see parachute teams here in 20th, 13th or year ones. And 4th, there is one up there. And the other one in 24th. So right now the door's open. And Stoke fans, West Brom fans, Middlesbrough fans are going to be wanting to run through the door. Comments in, please. Leicester 1, Birmingham 1. We did on the watch-along on Friday night. Did I say 1-1? I'm an idiot. Leicester 1, Birmingham 0. Leicester 2. I've literally got 1-1 written down on my notes. I haven't had much sleep, guys. Should we do that all over again? I'm not deleting it. Leicester 2, Birmingham. I literally watched the bloody game. There's footage on the internet of me watching the game. There we go. Right, heads in the game now. We won't talk too much about that. It's probably a good thing because I'm falling over all the information early here on a Sunday morning. Marty Cifuentes 1, Chris Davies 0, I think, wasn't it? And I suppose if you're a Birmingham fan, you're probably quite flattered that a year 1 parachute team at home has, quote, done a job on you. That's how Birmingham have come into the division and settled and just look pretty fearsome probability, don't they? And Leicester played this pretty nicely, didn't they? Fatawu, he's brilliant, isn't he? In off the right, swacked it in the top corner. Game state, again, we're speaking about it in Stoke and West Brom. You get that goal, it changes everything, doesn't it? And Leicester were then able to be really compact, allow Birmingham spaces where they didn't hurt them. And a bit of a frustrating one if you're a Birmingham fan, where Pereira smacked. Who did he smack? Kyogo, was it? After coming off the bench, and in VAR land in the Premier League, everything's going to stop there, and ref's going to go over to the screen and red card him. But you all tell me you don't want VAR in the Championship, so it's going to be in real football world, it's going to be a yellow card, isn't it? Because you're not going to watch 10 slow-mo replays of it. And then, of course, Pereira scores the second goal. Good start for Leicester. 9 points, 3 wins. Points deduction, don't know. International break's a good time to drop one of those normally. EFL like doing that, don't they, in the quiet news kind of period. So are we about to see, Leicester have 9 points on there and maybe have many fewer points? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? Let's just talk about what happened on the pitch. Good win for Leicester. And as I say, great start by Birmingham. I think the important thing for Birmingham is, with all of the hype, all of the chitter-chatter, especially from the likes of me on the internet, they needed to just come in, back it up, and they've done just that, haven't they? They've been super solid. Could have won all their games, couldn't they? And they're there with, how many points have they got? Birmingham, 7 points from 4. You would have taken that nice, solid start, especially being they've already ticked off Ipswich and Leicester 2 year 1 parachute teams. Right. Can I get the scores right of these bloody football matches? Oxford 2, Coventry 2. We're going to call Coventry the entertainers. That's what happens when a team has tons and tons of goals in all their games. 20 goals in total in 4 games for Coventry. Even with my GCSE B for maths, I can work out that is 5 goals per game involving Coventry. This one was nice and back and forth. Right with a poacher goal. Torp. How about Victor Torp, hey? He's going to have a nice highlight reel for August, isn't he? Brilliant free kick. And then same for Oxford. Lancashire with a poacher goal. And an equally excellent free kick. A football IQ, as they say on social media platforms. Free kick by Cam Brannigan. Swings that one round the wall. Catches the keeper out. There's a big 1v1 chance at 2-1 for Ephron Mason Clark. And you're like, ooh, would this have gone a different way? Are we looking at another 3-1, 4-1 Coventry? But not to be. Good start by Cov. Let's say 8 points from the first 4. Banging in loads and loads of goals. Transfer window has been pretty calm. Picked up. Tagged in from the momentum from last year. They won a lot of games in 2025. Coventry. And broken record, Benjamin Bloom says if you've got 2 points per game from any point in the season, you're happy. So at game 4, 8 points, 5th in the league, 14 goals. Literally the only team. Are they? I think the only team in double figures, and they got 14 for goodness sake. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Oxford, yeah, that's good because Coventry's a hard game, isn't it? Coventry will be up there, and they've scored twice. You look at the stats, you can say, oh, that looks like an away win, but Oxford are going to do this, aren't they? And Gary Rowett's done this over the years, where you look at the stats and you're like, oh, did they tickle this numeric pleasure of people who like to look at stats? No, but Rowett will say, well, how many times did they breach? How many times did they get round the back? Sound like Roy Hodgson, don't I? And, they keep it safe and they stay in games. And, keep your eye on Lancashire as well, because he's already got a couple of goals. And if you are in the position that Oxford will probably be in, scrapping down there, don't half help if you can get someone with 10, 15 goals. It's hard, not many chances down there for teams at the bottom, but he's already got a couple of goals. Get your thoughts in Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, Stoke, West Brom, Leicester, Birmingham, Oxford, Coventry fans. Let's change the slide. He says, got back really late last night. I haven't had much sleep. I'm performing at about 6 out of 10, I feel, at the moment in this hot takes video. Bristol City 4, Hull 2. I think I might have gone for 3-2 on the predictions on this one. I knew there was going to be goals. 6 XG between the two teams here. And get this, guys, 49 shots in this game. Sounds like fun to me. Bristol City are unbeaten, and they've got 8 points. So, however excited you are about Coventry, well, Bristol City have the same amount of points. However excited you are about Birmingham or Preston or Portsmouth or Swansea, who we'll talk about, Bristol City have more points. So, yeah, nice start this, isn't it? They went a goal down, actually. Nice little dink by Joffy Gelhardt. And it was 3-1 then by half-time. McCrory, he loves it, doesn't he? He hates defending now. He just wants to get in the box and score. And it was him who scored that brilliant goal at Bramall Lane, wasn't it? Love that one. He got a couple of assists. Reece got a couple of goals. I said about Reece, in a Struber team, if he plays 30, 40 games, going to get a few chances. And he scored twice in this one. Mehmeti scored as well. Max Bird slams one in off the bar. Brilliant stuff. And Gerhard Struber, there's lots of footage of me on YouTube, period, isn't there? But close season, I was saying, Struber and Bristol City, that could be fun. Well, if we're going to get, I know we had a 0-0 a couple of weeks back, didn't we? If we're going to get a 4-2, then, great stuff. And I'm sure we get Bristol City fans. A lot of fans always do this, don't they? Oh, we did a derby game. Should have won that one. So we should have 10, fans will always, I'm saying this about Bristol City fans, but fans generally will reverse engineer and pick up the best probability and have their teams winning 99% of their games. But it's been a really solid, decent start for Bristol City. Hull were kind of pleased with the first two games. They got 4 points. Back-to-back defeats. We're talking about a virus last week. It's a week on, and they haven't conceded 3 this time. They conceded 4. So some defensive work maybe from Mr. Jakirovic, and Hull needs doing. Where am I going? I'm going Sheffield Wednesday. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea 2. And it's going to sound really mean. This is what you've got to do at Hillsborough this year. You've just got to turn up and get your win, haven't you, with Sheffield Wednesday beleaguered and their squad having been just decimated over the summer. Just keep calm, keep tight, don't let siege mentality build. Stoke obviously went there and scored fairly quickly. Little bit different in this one. Swansea didn't get on the score sheet until the second half, but yeah, decent value, 17 shots, 64% possession, 1.3 on the XG. I didn't realise Vipotnik was as young as he was. He's only 23 and didn't pay a fee for him as well, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there. 3 goal contribs already. Breakout season, anybody? Zan Vipotnik for Swansea. Love that. A great goal as well. I mean, I'm sure I'll get Wednesday fans saying, oh, Ben, great goal, really? Come on, someone stick a foot in, make a tackle. But You love to see just calm, careful passing outside the box, work it in. Ronald Pereira finishes it. And yeah, Wednesday 0, Swansea 2. And I suppose I can say the same thing I said about Coventry for Swansea. Look, lots of momentum under Alan Sheehan at the end of last season, and that seems to have been carried through. 2 wins in the last 3, 7 points for Sheffield Wednesday. Can they do some more? A couple more free transfers, whatever. I don't know what the loan situation is, how many there are left there, whether that's working in terms of business plans, salary caps, embargoes, blah, blah, blah. Can they just help themselves out? Been more competitive than I thought they were going to be, but it's going to be a long winter. Players get hurt in the EFL Championship in winter, and you have to use your squad. And if you don't have much of a squad, it becomes a big struggle. And Wednesday are in the bottom 3 where we thought they might be. And they went under 2-0 against Swansea in this one. Portsmouth 1, Preston 0. I've written here, home form, engage. It's a bit weird because Portsmouth we had pegged as right. They'll have a good season, Portsmouth, because they'll do really well at home. And maybe if they improve a bit on their away form from last season, then, they'll have a really good season. And hey, they're 8th at the moment. That would be a really good season for the Pompey, wouldn't it? But they hadn't won any of their home games so far. So, yes, 39% possession, and we thought it might be a bit battley. But, yeah, clean sheet, and Fratton's just hard, and they've got to really, really leverage that. They've got to make it, got to beat Leeds there in the run. Did they beat them or did they draw them? I can't remember, but at the back end of last season, didn't they? 100-point leads. Dazelle, I think it took a deflection on the way through. Who cares if you're a Pompey fan? 7 points, clean sheet on the board. You want Murphy performing. You want Bishop performing. They have been. Segacic looks like a good arrival. We'll see what happens before 7 p.m. tomorrow in terms of more through the door. It's exactly what we wanted from Pompey, isn't it? Well done. Preston first defeat. They've also got 7 points from 4. And I think what you have to say about Preston is if you'd added up how Preston were going to get points and where they were going to get them, I don't think you would have had, right, okay, you're going to draw with QPR, lose at Pompey, but you're going to beat both Leicester and Ipswich. So I think you deserve to bank your points and stay in the top 10 if you've beaten 2 Year 1 parachute teams already, even if, as we go in with this narrative, they haven't started particularly well. More of that later. But yeah, they're pumping Preston neck and neck. They're 8th and 9th in the table. Blackburn 0, Norwich 2. Stripey Norwich go loss, win. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Josh Sargent, who I would suggest is the hottest player in the EFL Championship. I think he's got 5 in 4 in the Championship. He also scored in the League Cup. He's got 6 goals already by the end of August. I think my math is correct there. What a player. What a striker. I'm seeing him in the captain's armband there. And you can build a season around this guy, can't you? Have you got a 30-goal striker there if he stays fit? And stick a 30-goal striker in any team, wherever they are, can move up 6 to 10 places, are they? Because you can just win you the majority of the game. So they've got the really, really hot hand there in Sargent. After a interesting news week there at Norwich, but let's talk about on pitch. I'm sure Liam Manning just wanted to get it on the pitch. Key moment in this one. Dogso, penalty, McLaughlin, red card. Sargent sticks it in. It's like triple whammy, isn't it? The penalty, the goal, the red card just before half-time as well. They did have a really good chance at 0-0 Rovers, didn't they? What a goal by Sargent. The second one. Violence. Violence in a good way. Can you have good violence? You can if it's someone slamming the ball in the top corner like that. And he's the guy. He is the man, isn't he, Sargent? Keep him fit. Keep him in the Championship and see where he can take you. Blackburn, yeah, they're kind of in all their games, aren't they? But they've lost 3 of them. I don't quite know what to make of that. And the dog so just kills you, doesn't it? You know, when you go the goal down and you're 10 for an entire half of football. So, yeah, I feel there's positives with Blackburn, you know, kind of anecdotally and in my head, but they've lost 3 of their 4 games. So, yeah, some tidying up there may be needed. Comments, please. Bristol City, Hull, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, Preston, Blackburn, Norwich fans, get writing. And we have another 4 games to talk about. Wrexham have a win. By God, they move on to 4 points. And they got it at Millwall in odd circumstances here. Classic Kiefer Moore versus the keeper, who got a lot of plaudits last week when they won at Sheffield United, Bender. But Moore, I know if Kiefer Moore's like 6'15" or whatever, but you should never win an aerial against the keeper when they can use their arms. And he did, and he heads it in the goal. And yeah, uncorks the pressure there on Phil Parkinson. Loads and loads of stoppage time in this one. A keeper for Wrexham got hurt, and Millwall are chasing and pushing, and it's 60% possession. Wrexham conceded. They conceded 21 shots, but this is a big win, and Lewis O'Brien gets the goal. And you knew the narrative. It's even before the season, people were rounding on Parkinson because there's lots about Wrexham that's very sexy and Hollywood, and Phil Parkinson's very kind of stoic, Mr. English football manager bloke, proper bloke, old schooly football manager. And I'm kind of glad for him he's got the win now, because that'll calm that down. You know, there'd have been lots of chatter through the international break. So, yeah, well played. Wrexham off and running. Would anybody be surprised? We saw another player being photographed holding up a Wrexham shirt for a nice chunky fee before tomorrow. No, they wouldn't be surprised. Wrexham, great transfer window. Nice and ambitious. Need to push above a point per game given that spend. You would think that's where they are now in 14, 4 for 4. And Millwall, you're confusing the hell out of me. 6 points from 2 away games. Perfect. The fabled Den. It's a hard place to go. Everyone says year on year. 0 points there so far. In fact, 0 points and a 3-0 defeat against Middlesbrough and a 2-0 against Wrexham. So, very strange, and the other way around you would have imagined it. But, hey, a credible manager there at Millwall, and they're jolly consistent, aren't they? So we'll see how that pans out going forward. Erratic, you would say, that record so far for the Lions. Watford 2, Southampton 2. This looked quite fun, didn't it? A couple of brilliant free kicks. The hold my beer moment in this one. Archer slams in the opener. You'd be looking at 15, 20 goals from him if you're a Saints fan after the output he had for Middlesbrough and Michael Carrick a few seasons back. Barr makes it 1-1. And Liam Manning, I'm having such a bad morning. Ryan Manning, Liam Manning's the Norwich manager. Ryan Manning is a left-footed kind of left-back, centre-back, wherever he sees fit to play in wing-back. For Southampton, who already scored a free kick in the game against Wrexham, came off the bench and did that. So he scored another lovely one with the left foot. And you're thinking, oh, wow, there's a player who's got 2 excellent free kicks already. Iran Kunda, who just looks so much fun, doesn't he? 19 years old, says, hold my beer, and scores exactly the same free kick he scored at Swansea, where he kind of like fades it over the wall with the right foot. Loads of spin on it, but still gets shed loads of power as well. This guy looks great fun, doesn't he? Nestori Irankunda, 19 years old. What a start he has made to his Watford career. If he's going to bang them there free kicks in week after week. Sorry, Watford fans, you ain't going to be in the Championship very long at that age with that quality. And we say about Watford, Ismail Assar, João Pedro. They got another one here, maybe 2-2. We should say Southampton, like Ipswich, 5 points from 4. At least Saints have got a win to talk about, but slow. And I sense the frustration from Will still in the presses. It's been a long transfer window, hasn't it? And I think Diblin and Fernandez out. Fellows and Azaz in. Calm down. Move on. Get in the promotion race, I think, is the play for the Saints. QPR 3, Charlton 1. Bounce back. QPR lost 7-1 in round 3, and they've got the win today. Much, much needed. And they showed some character, didn't they? Because it went 1-1. Apter equalised on 53 in this one after Smith had given Rangers the lead. And I'm sure there's plenty of QPR fans sat in there in Loftus going, oh man, we're going to lose this one now. We're going to get Nathan Jones. It's going to be a comeback win. But they did it in the last 10 minutes. The returning Saito, a glorious return. I want to say it's a great dribble through the middle of the pitch. But yeah, it's a good dribble and someone should get a foot in and block that off. And I think the shot deflects in, but it's not Saito's fault, is he? Great return after he came on loan last season and off the bench and scoring. And then Richard Kone on the breakaway is going to be a key player for QPR. Lovely kind of dummy for the first goal actually as well. Kone takes the second one very, very well. And Sam Parkin was saying on the Championship check-in, trying to work towards, can they get on the pitch starting Saito, Dembele, Chair and Kone? It's good. It's good. Can they get them on the pitch consistently? They'll score goals. They'll make goals. And hopefully they'll fire QPR up the lead. Charlton, I haven't listened to the post-match from Jones. I suspect I know what he's going to say about the defending and the uncharacteristically leaky performance that the Addicts put in here. Ipswich 2, Derby 2. Look, I'm going to talk about this on Blue Monday, and Joe and Dave were both at the game. So there'll be far more detail than I can give now, given I was in Tewkesbury last night performing and have been across what I've been able to cross with minimum sleep. But Ipswich just can't get going, can they? They're just in a mucking fuddle, as they would say, just with the sheer churn of the whole thing. And it's 2-2 this one against Derby, and could have lost, couldn't they? They could have lost to Birmingham as well. Ipswich, they've had a late equaliser there, penalty 95th minute. Late equaliser here, 106th minute. Ipswich are just not viable yet. I happen to think they will be viable, but yeah, it's just too busy. Too much change from... So the double promotion winning team is just a fragment of the past now. And unfortunately, the lovely patterns of play and the quality of that team, it's just all gone. And Kieran McKenna needs to coach now a squad which is clearly far more expensive. And I want to say has far more quality in. But yeah, just crazy times with obviously Nunes and Agueli and Furlong all coming in. I think, if I even missed that, did they 4 players? Did they do 4 players come in? Azon? Yeah, 4 players coming in literally in like 24 hours. I just hope it's all done. Shut the window now. Get on the training pitch. Kieran McKenna and Ipswich. But yeah, let's give Derby some credit, because probably, you know, when you get into minute 105 and you're leading and you're a Derby fan or you're John Eustace, you're like, you should win the game, shouldn't you, at that point? Keeper flapping for the opener. Greaves heads it in. Morris from the spot, handball. Leaf Davis. 4 in 4. Brilliant start for Morris. That looks a great signing. Nice fit. Eustace, Morris, Derby. That smells good to me. That I think he's going to score a lot of goals. And we're trying the rehab job on Rhian Brewster. Here's a goal here. Not entirely sure about the Ipswich defending, but this is where we're at. Just a big booted goal kick down the ground. Horrible defending, and Brewster just runs through the middle. Again, like I said about Saito in the QPR Charlton game, it's not Brewster's fault. Finishes it nicely, but you should not, when that ball lands, if you freeze frame it, it's like, how are you going to concede a goal from that situation? But Ipswich managed it. Ozo on Taylor. Look, I'm sure we'll get plenty of emotional comments about amounts of stoppage time from one side and about gamesmanship and dark arts and time wasting and whatnot from the other side. I'll get involved later on the Blue Monday podcast and we'll see what Dave and Joe have got to say. Jack Clark, lots of comments each and every week from Leeds and Sunderland fans about Jack Clark when we're talking about Ipswich. So hopefully that will calm that down and he can, start a decent run. It's a penalty and he's off and running here. But I think both John Eustace and Kieran McKenna, if you got them off the record, would say, I'm just bloody glad to get August out of the way. Windows closed. From McKenna's point of view, do some coaching. Got a brilliant squad there. Should be obviously winning games and much higher than 20th, where Ipswich are on 3 points at the moment. And from Eustace's point of view, it's had a horrible injury crisis. And I've got to say, for them to claw out, they could well have lost against Bristol City at home. I did that on the watch along. For them to claw out 2 points in the past two games, I think is positive. And I think with both of these teams, they're clearly... Well, look, the managers will be fired. Both of these teams will improve. I think, they can't stay 20th and 21st, can they? So I think you're going to see a trend up from both Ipswich and Derby. And I say both of these managers will be fired if they don't trend up. I think there'll be a lot more pressure on the one who's got a year one parachute payment and a big squad than the one who's kind of come in and saved them from relegation and moving Derby in the right direction. But you can join me for Blue Monday tonight, where I'm going to be more alert and more coherent, I promise you, talk more about Ipswich 2. Derby 2. God, I got through it in the end. I'm going to go and hang with my daughter and my missus and have a well-earned coffee. So it's over to you guys now. Just fill the comments up. Get down there. I want to hear your takes on Championship Round 4. As I say, traditionally a massive signpost moment here. I'm fed up of this stupid system of the transfer window closing, 1 month into the season. It's ridiculous. It stitches up all the managers. It makes the first month a little bit comical for certain clubs, doesn't it? And I think we can really get into the the muscle memory, the grind. We're going to get our first 3-game week at the back end of September as well. And I think a busy 2 weeks. Well, a busy 24 hours on the phones and on the emails for agents, managers, CEOs, CFOs, directors of football, sporting directors, etc. And then, 24 Championship managers just want their squad sorted and get on that training pitch. And, we'll see how the promotion picture looks with Middlesbrough, West Brom, Stoke, your top 3. And again, parachute teams in 4th, 13th, 20th and 24th. Interesting picture in the Championship. That is round 4 done. And the madness of the closing of the transfer window coming up tomorrow. Thanks for watching.